You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History.
Stop! Where are we going?
The Sternberg!
Don't get left behind. We're waiting for you here at the Sternberg Museum, where there's always new opportunities for
Discovery under the dome.
Hello, and welcome to You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. My name is Dana Stanton, and I'm the coordinator of early childhood grants for USD 489. And with me today is Brett Schmidt. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning.
Now, first of all, Brett, tell me, what organization do you work for, and what do you do there?
I work for Child Care Aware of Kansas, and we are a nonprofit organization that serves with many agencies throughout the state, all the communities and counties in Kansas. And I'm an infant toddler specialist, so I work with providers and outreaching to the community on child care.
All right. Now, first of all, people hear Child Care Aware, and obviously they have something to do with child care, but what exactly is Child Care Aware, and what can you do there? What services do you provide?
Well, like I said, we do outreach to the community, just educating parents and families on child care, as well as working with providers just to give them the best research-based practices and help them to implement that into their programs.
Now, also, you mentioned that you can help families find child care. So tell me, what are some of the challenges? And I asked this question, and I know what some of the challenges are being a parent, but what are some of the challenges that parents might face when looking for child care, and how can you help?
Well, I just went through this a couple years ago, and I'd say the first one was, where do I start?
Yeah,
I mean, that's a tough thing, and then once you finally do figure out where to start, that's the next part is what do I ask, and what am I actually looking for? And so I think those are the difficult questions. We have some resources available through Child Care Aware of Kansas and around, they're distributed around town. One of our resources is our referral center, and so through the referral center, they can call a hotline number 1-877-678-2548.
Oh, you memorized it. I would have had to cheat. Yeah, yeah.
And they'll have some questions that they'll ask them, and it'll help them get a list of different providers.
Now, I can vouch for this. When my kids were little and in child care, I was new to the community. I didn't know anybody. I didn't really have a lot of contact. So it's scary for parents to think, I have to find someone to leave my beloved child with all day. How do I know if they are a good person or, this is a good fit? So just like you said, I called the number, I got a list of every child care opening, and these are licensed child care providers, and I could go and I could see if they were going to be the best fit. Now, if, say there are lots of parents out there, what are some things that they need to be looking for with child care?
I think look at the different activities that the providers offer. You want to know that your child's going to be enjoying what they're doing. Another one is just when you do go and observe, see if the children are having fun. I think that's a huge part. Just the children are going to tell you exactly what's going on in that provider's house or the provider center. And then another one is there a special place to put your child's things? Just that special place that they'll know that they have a safe spot for their things, but as well it keeps it safe. There won't be any cross-contaminants of other children's issues. So.
I would say things like, what is the schedule? Things like that. Is that something important?
The schedule's another good one. Just to know what they're going to be doing throughout the day. If they're going to be doing a mix of outdoor, indoor activities, hands-on activities. Just those
sort of things.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I think a lot of people would shy away from is, I've heard, I've interviewed people from Child Care Aware before. Is it okay for parents to do like visits to check a child care provider out?
Yeah, that's something we encourage. Is once you do get the list from the referral center, to go in and actually visiting with the providers, and you're going to find out a lot. Just if you feel like you trust them, I mean, you're going to send your child to be with them. I would say that's as important as giving the keys to your house. If you trust them that much, that's your provider.
I know another thing that we've had some really great providers and some that weren't such a good fit, but my kind of rule of thumb was if my kid was happy to go. And then I had one provider that was so good that the child didn't, when they saw me, they'd be happy and then they're like, oh, I wanted to stay. And I was like, oh, that's a good sign. So I think it's always all right to go in and do those home visits and see how they're doing.
Well, yeah, and that'll show you the relationship too that they're building, and that relationship piece is so big in their development. So.
Now, how do you partner with families?
With families, we do education with the providers, and then what we try to do is help the providers partner with the families. So we try to have parent cafes, help the providers support that, getting them involved. And that's such an important piece because the providers are able to see the interaction between the parents, and the parents are able to see the interaction between the provider and the child too. So.
Well, I know there's lots of research out there that talks about the importance of a child's early years, and a child care provider spends a good majority of the day with your child, so it's so important that they have that relationship with a place like Child Care Aware so they can get those resources, work with someone like you to get those research-based, the best things that are available so they can have those skills to work with our young children. Now, one more time, Brett, what is the phone number if someone wants to talk to you, maybe a provider has questions, or a parent wants to get more information? What's that phone number again? Let's see if you got it second time.
1-877-678-2548.
And I also know on our website, haysparents.com, there is a link for childcare that'll link right to Child Care Aware from Kansas. And I believe there's also the handout that you showed right there. Okay. So if parents have questions or providers, you can give Brett a call. Thanks so much, Brett. That's great information. You've been watching You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. Parents, remember, you are your child's first and best teacher. Thank you.
You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History.